This podcast is part of the More Than Baseball network. More Than Baseball is working daily to better the lives of minor leaguers all over the game of baseball. Our mission is to protect and enhance the future of the game by allowing every ball player to live a better life during and after their careers. They have a ton of programs, including financial advice, education help, mental help, and a ton more. Check them out at morethanbaseball.org. I am super excited for my guest today. Drafted originally by the Milwaukee Brewers in the 14th round a few years back. Since been traded to the Jays. Is he the one that got away from us, Brewer fans? We don't know. We'll find out, I guess. But Paxton Schultz, how's it going, brother?
Good, yeah, really good. Just enjoying this All-Star break and ready to get back at it tomorrow.
Yeah, and let's get into that. Obviously, it's your All-Star break. It's games start again tomorrow. Like, what have you been doing for this past couple of days? Like, how have
Mhm.
you enjoyed it?
Yeah, definitely. I was, couldn't get home. Flights are really expensive and
Mm-hmm.
everything. So just there's a good group of us here. We took advantage of, the downtime and just being with each other here. Went and golfed and took it easy. Got things done we needed to around here, but just kind of a little refresh for us in the middle of the season.
Yeah, for sure. And like in your group of guys, like who in or in your team, who's like the best golfer? Like who's someone like who's like, all right, like they're just
Yeah. Uh, I would say our one of our catchers, Phil Clark. He's very good at golf. He's really good, and there's a few others that hit the ball far. But I'd say overall, Phil, he's a great golfer.
yeah. And how's your golf game? You true circle. We'll gas you up a little bit. How's your golf game?
Yeah, no, I'm decent. Nothing special, nothing like I am at baseball. But during the all COVID pandemic, when there wasn't a whole lot to do and golf was still that social distance sport, I really got into it. I have friends that are really good. I try to learn from them, and they help me a lot. So I'm definitely getting better. So that's good.
For sure. And you're married. Congrats on that. How long have you been married for?
Yeah, yeah. I got married in 2019, so this October will be 3 years. So
Awesome.
it's awesome. There's definitely challenges with the minor league grind and being married, but we make
Yeah.
it work, make it have her out here as often as possible. So it's good.
Oh, so she's not even there with you.
No, no, she's back
Oh,
home. So
wow.
I'm originally I'm from Utah, and that's
Right.
where both of our families are there. And she has a great support system there and full time job, so
Yeah.
keeps her busy. And then she gets out when she can. So yeah, like I said, it's tough, but it's just weighing the odds. She
Yeah.
could be here, with me full time. Then we go on a 2 week road trip, and she's here alone. And like comparing it, she could be back home in Utah with both of our families there, and so we felt find that way is a little easier.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you think about it because you obviously drive and travel a lot
Hmm.
now, and the games
Oh yeah,
and the series are like what 5 or 6 games. Like it's pretty much like is it
yeah.
six per?
It's six games, six
Yeah.
games a week. Yeah, so it's like if we go these stretches where we have two home, two away stands in a
Hmm.
row, then she's going to be out of state alone
Yeah.
for 2 weeks. It's like it can be hard.
Wow, that's a good point, man. That's and kudos to you. Like I don't know if I could do that. Like I mean, that's a great. And you talk about the minor league grind. And we'll talk about the minor league grind in a bit. But let's get
Yeah.
into this trade. So you get drafted by the Brewers,
Hmm.
back in what 19, I think. Was it
Yeah,
19? Yeah.
2019 I was drafted.
And then obviously the pandemic hits. You go to Australia, and then
Yeah.
and how? Well, let's talk about Australia first because that kind of came first. Like, how was that experience? I saw Instagram pictures. Credit to me for doing research and all
Hmm.
that. But you were with the koala bear.
Yeah, yeah.
Kangaroos and
It
whatnot.
was
Like, what
it
was that
was
experience
awesome.
about?
I loved it. Yeah, there was a good group of Brewers players who went down there, and they have a kind of an affiliation with one of the Australian Baseball League teams, the Brisbane Bandits down there, and so we got to play for them, and it was awesome. I mean, Australia was such a beautiful place, and then it's not, you wouldn't think baseball is big, but man, there's a good baseball community and uh, tight knit tight knit team down there, and it
Mhm.
was awesome. I loved my time there, and had no complaints. I just got to be in a beautiful place playing baseball. It was awesome.
No, yeah, for sure. And so maybe what is one thing there that you ate that maybe you had no idea what it was at the time, or maybe just something you've never tried before?
Yeah, I remember the owner of the team, and we went to a big dinner with him, and it was this seafood place. I'm not the biggest seafood guy, so I was kind of skeptical about it, but man, that changed my mind. I had tried things like clam and and like real big, like fresh shrimp. And it was awesome just to be treated like that, and kind of opened my palate and other things as well. So it was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, and I'm from the Bay Area in California
Yeah.
originally, so like
Hmm.
we have a ton of good seafood, and
Oh yeah.
so I enjoy it. I don't really eat much. I'm in the Midwest now. Like I don't really eat much fish here because it's like lake fish. And it's
Hmm.
not really the same to me.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I mean, but yeah, like
Exactly.
when in Australia, you just got to eat it. You can't say no.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was once in a lifetime thing. So I was loving that there for sure.
So what are the fans like? Because I mean, like we talk about like the fans here in the States, and like especially in the minor leagues, they're kind of crazy depending on where you're going.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
like how is it? Like what's the vibe there?
Yeah. It was. There was times where it was, probably limited
Sure,
and affected by the pandemic and stuff like that. If there
that's
was
a good point.
outbreaks, whatever. But I mean, for the most part, there was good turnouts and good fans, and it's kind of similar to here, But I remember one time with the home Bandit games, there was a group. They were always there. I mean, any game we played, anytime the group was there. They had their tent, like a shade awning thing in the stands for them, and they were diehard fans, and it was cool to see that being in Australia as well.
How are the fans in terms here like every kid asks for balls, every kid asks for like your bat, your glove, your shoes, whatever it could be.
Oh yeah,
Are the fans
every
just like that
time.
out there too?
I wouldn't say as much though, but I mean, when you do give them something like that, they light up just the same. So it's
That's
it's
awesome.
it's cool, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And obviously like is the style of like play at all any different? Because obviously like I've talked to guys who play like in Dominican League, and other
Yeah.
Mexican League. Like is there anything different, or what was maybe the biggest difference that you noticed?
Yeah, nothing like crazy. I mean, I feel like same thing. They take it serious over there.
Mhm.
They're trying to win the Australian Baseball League, the title. They have the cup there and everything. So uh, it's nothing crazy different. I think there's a lot of talent over there. There's former big league guys and stuff. So it's actually taken very serious, and the game's played hard as you'd see over here. So that's something I really enjoyed.
Yeah, no, for sure. And obviously it's an incredible experience for you. I gotta ask this, like the kangaroo situation.
Hmm.
Like how big are those things? Like, did you see that? 'Cause
Yeah,
I hear they're just huge.
they're huge. There's some big ones. Like obviously, so as you mentioned the picture of me, I held a koala bear at the zoo and got to pet some kangaroos. Like the ones they have in the like kangaroo like kind of I guess exhibit whatever you'd say. There's open place you can go feed them and pet them. There's none of the big ones in there, but like you can see the big ones and they're massive. They look ripped and definitely look like they could do some damage to you.
Isn't it insane how like jacked they look? Like it's like holy
Hmm.
cow! Like those guys, like you can just imagine them bench pressing and just deadlifting.
Yeah,
Those guys
they're
look
huge.
huge.
Yeah, you wouldn't think, but yeah, they get up there.
How close did you get to some of the bigger ones?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of like a normal zoo exhibit, just
Okay,
looking at it behind either glass or a fence or something. So
right
not
on.
not too close.
Yeah, still that's an incredible experience. I mean, I think I
Hmm.
probably see just the movies, like
Yeah, 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 exactly.
that's crazy. So let's get back into this trade. Did you know Evan Reifert? By chance he was with the Brewers.
Yeah, sounds
Signed
familiar picture, right?
Yeah. He signed
Yeah.
2020. He got traded. He's a good friend of the pod. He's been on several times to the
Hmm.
Rays after 2020. I don't know if
Yeah.
you, yeah, something around that time. So
Hmm.
I had to talk to him about getting traded. He said he had no idea. He was playing some Call of Duty or whatnot, and he just gets a phone
Oh
call like,
yeah.
"Hey, by the way, you're traded now." Like, what was that experience for you? Obviously, getting traded, it was probably out of the blue. I'm sure they didn't give you any
Yeah,
warning.
I mean, I like I said, I hadn't played a whole lot of pro ball. I was drafted, played a short season. My first expected full season got canceled because of COVID.
Hmm.
I'm gearing up, ready for spring training. I have a great spring training, and actually, I broke with the team. I was flying out, and right when I landed, I got the phone call from my farm director. So I wasn't sure what was going on. I thought maybe someone at the level above needed someone got hurt, maybe they needed someone to fill in, and so I didn't know. But yeah, I landed, and I was still with the team collecting my luggage, and he told me, yeah, you've been traded to the Toronto Blue Jays, and I was like, whoa, he just I really appreciated my time with the Brewers, and I loved everything there. But pretty much from there, it was like, thank you for being
Mhm.
someone that did all that we asked. We sent you to Australia, and we really appreciate that and everything. And so from there, just go back to the hotel with the team, and someone with the Blue Jays will be in contact with you. And from there, I got the Blue Jays in contact with me. They sent me to Florida, and I threw a bullpen in front of a bunch of people there. And then I met the high A team it was in Pasco, Washington, and Tri-City. So, and there played my first full season with the Blue Jays.
Wow. That's crazy. And like, it's so out of the blue. Like, obviously it's not, and you got traded for a big leaguer too, which is kind of like a flex, you know, you can kind of,
it's cool. But yeah, like I said, I had no idea. And then it just shows that then there's someone always watching. You don't know what, it was the spring training games. They saw me and, or even Australia, I don't know, but those spring training games, there's always scouts from other teams there and stuff. So it was very cool.
For sure. And I know a couple guys in the Blue Jays organization. Do you know Zach Britton? I'm pretty sure you guys are probably on the same team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's my guy. He's been on the pod before. That dude was just absolutely electric in high school. Like, he was telling me stories of batting practice. They had to move him back. I don't know if he's told you the story or not, but he was actually forbidden from taking batting practice at high school because he would hit the houses behind like the field. So like they had
that's crazy.
They had people shagging balls in the outfield in front of the houses and like in the front yards of these houses because he was just peppering cars and houses. Eventually they're like, yeah, you got to tell him he can't have batting practice anymore. Like, that dude just has
funny.
Yeah, he's crazy cool. But yeah, so I'm sure you've probably thrown to him during games and whatnot.
Yeah, I threw to him in spring training a lot. So it was a great guy, and hopefully see him up here in AA soon.
Yeah, no, and how did they tell you that you're going to get sent up to AA? Like, how was that experience? Obviously, it's a better experience than, saying he got traded, but like.
Yeah. And then I've never had like a mid-season call-up, so I don't know. But yeah, at spring training, kind of towards the end, they just obviously had an idea where everyone's going, and they just had meetings with our farm director, pitching coordinator, stuff like that, and just told us, here's what we're thinking for you, here's the plan, and kind of just go from there and assign you where you're going to be for the year. So.
Yeah, for sure. And a guy who I haven't had on the pod, but I really want to get him on the pod. You may have played with him, just absolutely just crushing. I've seen his highlights everywhere, like in the minor leagues. Aurelvis Martinez.
Yeah, he's on. Yeah, he's been with me the whole year. He's awesome. Yeah.
How insane is his power? Because like I've seen his home runs, and like that guy is
crushes it, man. Yeah, he's what, 20 years old, and he's hitting these moon shots at AA, and it's just impressive to see, man. That talent's everywhere, and it does a lot for yourself too. Like, you're going up against these hitters, and to have success is awesome, and it's really confidence boosting for you as well.
Yeah, is there anybody on your team, maybe it was high A or AA, that you've just in practice just absolutely just takes you deep, or you can't get them out, or who's like the hardest person for you to strike out?
A hard strikeout's always with a guy we have named Tanner Morris. I mean, he just got caught up from AA to AAA, and he's just got great plate discipline, great approach up there, and it's just like tough to get pitches by him. But it's crazy to see how deep and how talented this league is, and guys you see like Jack Sawinski and other guys that have made got their call up from AA straight to the show. It's just cool to see, and gives you a lot of confidence, shows how really close you are, and what you need to do to get there. So
yeah, awesome. For sure. Yeah, and it's insane because you see guys getting called up from like AA now. Some guys just skip AAA altogether, and it just shows like you pitch well enough, like especially like come postseason time, like they may need that extra arm. You never know, right? That's just incredible how insane it is. Let's talk about your high school or your getting into baseball. Like, when did you start playing baseball, and like what kind of got you into the game?
Obviously my dad, he played baseball in high school, and he's the one that's really introduced me to the game. And I started playing when I was probably 6 years old. Started t-ball in the local rec league there, and we had a good from Orem, Utah, and Orem City. They had a good city league baseball league, and that's where I started. And from there, just played every year, whether it would be city league baseball or go on and got a little more serious with Super League and stuff like that. And so had a little travel team from kids that will be going to our high school, and from there on played up until high school. So I've always been playing baseball, and it was up to my freshman year in high school because I played football and basketball as well. And that's when I could see, man, I was definitely head over for baseball, and that's what I was best at as well. So I decided then I really wanted to focus on that and try to get a college scholarship.
Yeah, no, for
Saw
sure.
it as, man, if I could get, sorry, keep going.
No, you're good.
No, yeah, I was just saying if I could get a college scholarship and pay for that with baseball, that was my goal, and I pursued that.
Yeah. So what position did you play in football? Like, were you a quarterback, receiver? Like,
yeah, I did. I actually played quarterback, yeah, and a little bit D-line. I was always bigger for my age,
Yeah.
and so I could throw the ball far, and nothing crazy impressive.
Yeah. That's all right. You can brag on yourself a little bit.
Yeah, but no, yeah, that, and I played down low and basketball, so I guess it taught me some toughness along the way.
No, for sure. How good was your football team?
I think we had a pretty good team. It was right after high school. My high school team, they went on one, I think 3 or 4 state championships in a row. So it was sucked to not be there, a part of it while we were there. But man, I guess we set them up right, those guys. So it was cool.
Yeah, we'll say that you laid the foundation, so you should be able to take a little bit of credit because you did the groundwork for that.
For sure.
So I'm not a stats guy, but I'm looking at your stats in high school, and dude, you were kind of nasty. 11-1 your senior year, 2.90 ERA, 105 punchies. Is that good? I mean, I don't know. You were top 10 player in the state.
Yeah, that was awesome, and I just had a lot of fun playing baseball. If someone asked me like, "What's your favorite baseball memory?" The best time playing baseball, obviously, now I'm very grateful I get to do this for my job and whatnot, but just being able to play on a high school team with friends, like I said, we played growing up from 8 years old on together all the way to our senior years. Like that was just a time in my baseball career I'll never forget.
Yeah, and like I said, you were nasty. At what point did you realize, like, I'm a little bit better than everyone else here?
Yeah, I mean, from a young age, like I threw hard and I had success, and I saw that, and it was probably like going up in like 8th, maybe 7th, 8th grade, and when I was like, okay, my dad kind of pulled me aside and said, like, this is something that you can do. He's like looking at other kids, and even when I was your age, you were way better than me, and you're pretty good at what you're doing. Like, you take this serious and take everything into account, you could really, really go far in this game. And that just stuck with me, having him believe in me and my family. It really helped me a lot.
That's incredible. And like, I mean, you were just out there in Utah breaking high school hearts just by crushing and dominating these guys' teams. They're probably thinking, no, I'm not playing baseball anymore. I just got struck out 3-4 times by this kid. When did you commit? Like, how old or what grade did you commit?
I want to say right before my junior year, I committed to where I went to Utah Valley University, and it was before that I was really pushing because I went to, I think in my sophomore year, I went to a Stanford baseball camp, and also there's a lot of other schools there, a lot of like recruitment opportunities there, and that's another time where I was like, wow, like I know it always seems scary to kids, it's like, oh, these out-of-state kids, where they're from warmer weather, it's tough, like they're way better than us, but really being on the field and playing with them, it just it makes you realize you can compete and be there with these kids that are so-called the best.
Yeah.
And that's when one time in high school I got up there and kids were talking, oh, how hard do you throw? How hard do you throw? And I told them, like, how hard do you throw? I was like, probably 88 to 90. And they're like, oh, no. And I got up there and I was throwing that in the game. Like, we didn't believe you, but man, you showed us that you did it. And it was very cool to have that happen.
No, for sure. You got to let the arm eat a little bit, especially if you're in California. Because, I don't know I guess Utah is pretty good weather too. Or does it snow in Utah? I don't even know.
It snows. That's the tough part. So it's like
that's my California education. I don't even know.
No, but it was just a great experience to see that I belong there. I can do this.
Yeah, and Stanford's great. Like the campus, I grew up maybe an hour from there, so like the whole area is beautiful.
Oh yeah, that whole Palo Alto area was awesome. It was cool because you got to tour the facilities, tour the campus, and it was a really well put on camp. So
awesome, and you were able to kind of hold your own against these guys because California, they breed.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. That's where it's just like that's the same thing. I remember, my dad was actually a coach for our team growing up and going through, little league and high school, and he'd always tell us, this team is supposed to be good, but man, they're just like you guys. Go to school, do the same
Mhm.
things you like to do, play PlayStation, whatever. It's like you guys got to realize you're good too, and so that's just something that stuck with me. So
Yeah. For sure. Was there anybody there that maybe has also got drafted? Because like I said, there's a ton of talent out in California. Like maybe any names
yeah.
that maybe we would recognize.
Um, I forgot his name. Yeah, there's a pitcher. He went to USC. I actually played him in college. He was at the
Okay.
camp at me. Maybe John Beller, something like that. I think
Okay.
he's with the Cardinals now.
Sure.
But he was at the camp. That's one name that stuck out to me. He was a good player, and kind of followed him after we played each other at USC. So as I'm sure there was the camps were huge, and a lot of kids there.
Yeah, for sure. And like, how good was your high school? You mentioned like your college football
Yeah.
team is decent. Like, was the baseball team pretty good?
Yeah, my senior year was really good actually. We made a good run my junior year. We had a good group of kids, and we I think we were second or third round in the state playoffs and got knocked out. But our senior year was just different. We played a opening like preseason tournament, and I think we went 2-2 to start the year, and we played some pretty good teams down there to get the year going. And then from there, I think we won about 24 games in a row. We swept our region, and we just caught fire, man. And then it was actually a state championship. We made it to the state championship. The team that was playing us, they had to beat us twice, and they ended up beating us twice, and we lost. So
Oh,
it
what a
was tough.
heartbreaker.
It was heartbreaking. We were the favorite to go in and win that, and it was hard. I remember I had the first game. I was supposed to pitch, and there was a rule limits, and I don't know how my arm stayed on because I pitched probably 3 days prior, 7 inning complete game to get us to the next round, and had 2 days off, and then came back and started the state championship game. And I
Wow.
had about 5 innings left on my pitch count, and came in through my 5 innings. We were up, had the lead. Sixth inning rolled around, we still had the lead. They were 3 outs away from taking it, and they just put up a 4 spot in the top of the
Wow.
seventh, whatever it was. And then they just came out. We were just deflated after that and pummeled us the second game.
Oh,
So it was hard, but unforgettable season. I think we ended up 27-3 or something like that, or four. And
yeah.
and
Wow.
it was so fun though. Won the region, which was awesome, but just came up short.
That's crazy. And just to be able to be in that scenario that situation, that's
Hmm.
pretty sick. And
Yeah, it was
22 in a row,
awesome.
like that's no matter where you're playing, like
Yeah,
that's pretty
yeah.
sweet.
It was awesome. Yeah, it was definitely something that was so cool, and we fell on top of the world, so it was a great
Yeah.
time.
Was there anyone else in your high school who maybe went on to play pro ball or also like got
Yeah.
drafted? You had a
Um,
pretty good team.
we had a pretty decent team. We had a few kids go play junior college and continue, but I was the only
Mhm.
one that went, play on Division I baseball
Okay.
and play professionally. So definitely, I like Utah's small in baseball, but it's definitely getting bigger and bigger. There's a lot of talent there and big time commits and other players that have and gone pro already. So it's
Yeah.
definitely growing.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you because I mean, like, here in Wisconsin, like our talent's okay. Like we have
Yeah.
really good talent, but like it's just kind of spread out.
Yeah.
Like it's not a huge like
Yeah,
baseball state.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and that's how it is. There's no really like powerhouse schools. Obviously, there's talent spread out all throughout the state, and guys are getting obviously the opportunities and
Mhm.
looks, but it's just still progressing and still trying to catch up. Like I mentioned earlier, it's just hard when we have snow and I can't play
Mhm.
year round winter ball and stuff like that like other states can. So
Yeah, and
it's
that's for sure a huge
tough.
disadvantage because like I've talked to guys who
Hmm.
played in Indiana, Evan from Indiana. I'm pretty sure he's from Indiana, and like
Yeah.
guys in the
Hmm.
Midwest who just like same thing as you, like they just can't play like year round, and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's just the way it is. That's what are you gonna do is kind of the way it
Hmm.
is. So how was the recruiting process? Obviously, and you get signed, or you commit as a junior going into your
Hmm.
junior season or going into your senior
I
season?
think going into junior season, yeah. So right before my junior year.
How big of a guy were you on campus? Like people just looking like, hey, there's that commit already in junior
Yeah.
season, junior
Yeah.
year, and this
It
guy's
was
already committed.
yeah, it was a great experience. I
Yeah.
loved it in the end, and I didn't really get much interest from BYU. And my dad's a huge BYU fan. We went to games growing up, stuff like that, and obviously it would have been nice. But I'm I'm
Mhm.
I'm glad how this shaked out. And in the end, it was between the University of Utah and Utah Valley University, where that's my hometown. That's where I'm from, and And obviously, it was impressive to see the Pac-12 facilities up there and
Yeah.
see all the fueling stations, everything they had to offer. But in the end, I felt like the interest just wasn't there. But I felt like I wanted to know the whole recruiting the process
Hmm.
to be like. And Utah Valley, man, they showed me everything and gave me a lot of attention and really just broke down what I'd be getting and everything like that. And they just made me feel so welcome and, at home there, and made it really easy. And I loved my time there. So I'm glad it happened.
For sure. And you said Utah State was the other option.
University of
Oh,
Utah.
university. So pay, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Pac-12. So did you like
Mm-hmm.
did you do an official visit there?
Yeah. I went on my official visit tour, got a tour and saw all their facilities and met some of the players and stuff. So it was very cool.
Did you go to a football game? Because obviously, Pac-12. It's I mean, this
Yeah.
talent
Yeah.
is not as compared to bigger other conferences, but they have some pretty good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They had some great games and stuff. I didn't end up going to a football game there.
Okay.
I've been to plenty, so.
Oh, nice, nice. So, what about your school? Did you guys have a good football team? I mean, like, how was the like college game
So
day for you guys?
yeah. They Utah Valley, they don't have football, which
They don't have
which is
football.
kind of tough. Like the biggest sports obviously were soccer, baseball, and basketball. So,
Okay.
but I mean, I loved it. I loved the whole athletic community and
Mm-hmm.
everything they had to offer. I remember they had a shirt they gave us. It said 16 sports, one team. So they always like tried to include all the athletes, have events,
Yeah.
and go to other sporting events, games together and stuff. So it was a good way to like meet people and meet other athletes and just be kind of doing this whole college experience
Yeah.
together, which was awesome.
For sure, for sure. And like maybe what was like maybe like the biggest game like you pitched in college, or maybe it was against like your who was it your
Yeah.
biggest rival or at your university?
Yeah, I probably say my junior year we were in the WAC tournament, and I'll share too. This is the first one, WAC tournament my junior year. We were going up against New Mexico State, and they had some guys that could bang, man. They had Nick Gonzalez, he's
Oh yeah,
first round pick.
yeah.
Had a
Pirates,
few
right?
other, yeah, Pirates, yeah.
Mhm.
We played them earlier this year, actually, Double A, and but yeah, they had some guys, man. They led, I think, the nation in batting average, and they just get hit. And I remember going up against them. It's like we got to win to stay in here, and so pitched really well. I think went 7 innings, had I want to say 9 strikeouts. I remember that because I was 10 strikeouts away from beating the single season strikeout record at
Dang.
UVU, and I ended up tying it with 9. So that
Oh,
that was kind of tough and something I wish I could have gotten done, but pitched well against a good team and had a good tournament. We ended up losing, which was sucked, but I feel like that was one of the bigger outings my junior year. It was like got me kind of noticed and seen. And the other one I was going to mention is we played actually at the University of South Carolina, I
okay,
think
yeah.
third weekend, and man, I had same thing. I think I threw 7 innings, had 11 strikeouts, and that's where I feel like started the ball rolling in the whole
Mhm.
recruitment process and or like the whole scouting process into the professional level. So it was awesome.
Yeah. So I like to ask this question. Like, when was your if to when moment? Not like if I get drafted, but like when I get drafted. You started being able to
Mm-hmm.
say like, when I get drafted.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, during my junior year, they instead of the MLB recently changed in while I was in college, they would used to send guys letters. You'd have to fill out this whole survey by hand and
Hmm.
send it back. But now they have a whole, I guess, a portal where it's like every team can send you surveys and fill it out. And I remember filling out almost every team in the MLB, had surveys for me and stuff. And that's what I was like, wow, I can do this. There's
Yeah.
still 40 rounds in the draft. It's like I've got a good chance at being drafted at this time. So it was definitely at that moment realizing like, man, I got this.
That's awesome. And yeah, I mean, and also you get drafted. Like, how was your draft day experience? I mean, like, did you have a group of people over? Like, how was that draft day for you?
Yeah. So I talking to all the scouts. It was just like they were saying we see you going from rounds probably 7 to 10. That's a good range for you. I was like, okay, yeah, that's awesome. Didn't end up getting the call that second day of the draft. So I was like, okay, it's gonna happen this next day. And I was actually helping with a camp at Utah Valley. We had a little kids camp they were doing, and I was helping and just making some extra money that way. And I was in the outfield, and my fiance at the time, she texted me and like, oh my gosh, congratulations, that's awesome. I was like, well, what happened? So I went and checked the draft tracker, and there it was. It was the Milwaukee Brewers drafting me. So
Yeah.
that was kind of wild.
Yeah. So you weren't even like having, you were just, what a flex. So you're like, if it happens, it happens. I'm not even gonna tell
Yeah,
anybody
I
over.
didn't
I'm just gonna
even
do my thing.
know. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. So, it always fascinates me, like these questionnaires that they ask you to sign, ask you to
Hmm.
fill out and all that. Did you have any like sit down meetings with them? Like, what are some of the questions
Yeah.
they ask you? Um, like how is that? Like, what are some of the things
Yeah.
they talk to you about?
It's different from every team. Some team wants to know performance things you do, and some it's just like a huge mental thing, kind of like the type of person you are, and it just varies from that. But I remember I had a sit down one on with the Kansas City Royals. It was actually at the WAC tournament after I threw for in that conference against New Mexico. And I sat down with him and had probably an hour talk. He was asking me everything, and it was just cool to see how like serious they are with their
Mm,
draft picks. And it's I mean, looking at it's an investment for them, and they
yeah,
want to make the right decision. So they just really dive deep from performance, mentally, family life, all sorts of things, which is awesome.
no, for sure. Did you do any summer ball, like in between college or at all, or no?
Yeah, I didn't. Our coach wasn't big on it on pitchers, just so you know. I threw
Okay.
a lot of innings, and they just it was more like um, kind of just injury prevention. Didn't want us overloading innings, and I'm grateful for it. I stayed home and trained, and really just took it like kind of like how I would in the off season now to really prepare for the next year, the next spring training, whatever it is. So I'm glad I didn't end up playing.
For sure, and that works too. I mean, obviously, it worked out for you. You get drafted.
Hmm.
You pitch well. So I like to talk to guys about their experiences in the minors. It's more like an off the field kind of podcast. Like, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm not a stats guy. But
Yeah.
like, what do you do, or maybe do you have any like interesting, maybe funny minor league story that like it just stands out, sticks out in your brain where you think, that's just typical minor league story here.
Let me think. Um,
Yeah, and I'll give you like some like context. Like I've had guys tell me like, their bus broke down. They were
oh yeah.
stranded in the middle of Indiana in cornfields. They have to
Oh
Uber eat
gosh.
like Taco Bell. They had to wait 4 or 5 hours for the bus to get fixed,
Hmm.
and they end up, 4 or 5 hour trip becomes like an all night event. Or like,
Yeah, that's tough. I remember it would have been my rookie ball. I remember we were playing in Montana. I was on Colorado Springs team, and we played a game, got done at night, 9 o'clock. It's like, okay, now we got a bus back. And it's like, it had to have been like 12-hour bus ride. And I remember just
wow.
falling asleep on the bus, waking up, and we're still driving. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is unreal. And there's just, I mean, obviously that's a grinder moment,
Mm.
but um, trying to think of other things where,
Or maybe what city have you gone to and you get off the bus, you look around like, where am I? Like, I mean, there's so many like
yeah,
small towns that have minor
yeah,
stadiums. It's just like you're in the
exactly.
middle
Yeah.
of nowhere.
That was kind of the Montana trip. We went to Billings, Montana, and
Oh
Great
man.
Falls,
Yeah.
Montana, and places where it's like I probably would never come here, but that's why I
Yeah.
love it, man. Baseball takes me to so many cool cities, and from more West Coast areas where I'm used to out here East Coast.
Mhm.
I mean, we were in Reading, Pennsylvania last week, and been to Binghamton, New York. It's like cool areas I probably wouldn't have ever seen outside of baseball, and I'm glad I got a chance to do that.
For sure. What is maybe one of your favorite cities to visit? Like, it's maybe
Yeah.
pitch well there, or maybe it's just
Hmm.
environment and you enjoy it.
This year I'd probably say one of my favorites was Somerset, New Jersey, where that's the Yankees affiliate. It's special to me because I have two brothers that actually live about 45 minutes to an hour away from there, and it was awesome to have a lot of my family at the game. My parents flew out, and I'm looking forward to going back there this year too.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think I want to say for when you played in Canada, right? For low A, or is it high A?
That's high, but that was tough too because they closed the border down because of the COVID. So we had to share with a team in Hillsboro, Oregon. That's where we were last year. So we didn't even get to go
Oh.
up to Canada.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to say
Yeah.
like, how is the traveling? Like, with the passports back and forth.
Hmm.
Because I think in
Yeah.
that league, most of them are in like Washington and Oregon, right? Like
Yeah.
those teams.
Washington, Oregon. Yeah. So that's, we got to experience that part of it. But yeah, we never had to go the whole border crossing, middle of the night, show your passports, all that stuff. So I guess we got a good experience. Kind of sad because I've heard the whole Vancouver atmosphere in baseball is unreal, sellout crowds every night, and sad I didn't get to be a part of that. But I guess the travel was a little bit easier.
For sure. Have you been to Canada at all or no?
I have not. No, no. I mean, hopefully,
That's
it's
crazy.
from a call up, but
Yeah.
I have not yet. No.
Well, you never know. Maybe sometime soon, hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what is the funniest thing a fan has asked you to sign? Like, I love asking this because, like, I think Zach Britton told me like a kid asked him to sign his forehead. I've been, someone
Yeah. Yeah.
had Trey Cabbage on. Someone bring Cabbage like pom poms, asked him to sign like their
Really.
Cabbage because his last name's
That's
Cabbage, kind of easy
funny.
one. But what is
Yeah.
maybe something you have?
Yeah, there's some funny kids. Like I've never really been asked to sign like someone before, and this year a
Yeah.
kid's like, "Will you sign my arm? Sign my arm." I was like, "Okay, I'll
Yeah.
sign your arm. This has never happened to me before." Usually, they have your card or a ball or
Mhm.
their jersey, whatever. And this kid, man, it was so persistent. He is just covered in signatures on his arm, and I signed his arm. So
What that is odd though.
hilarious.
I never really fully understand that.
Yeah,
I mean, you're gonna
I'm like,
wash it. You
yeah, you're gonna
would
wash that
think,
off.
right?
Yeah, I have all his friends. I think he even had a Fisher Cats hat on this year. I'm like, let us sign your hat or something you can just have. But he wanted his arm signed.
Yeah, that's insane. I was talking to a guy in the Marlins organization. He pitches in for them, and he had mentioned that their bullpen, like before they would go out. I said, what is maybe one of the stranger things your bullpen does? And he said they would drown themselves, like they would get a cup of water and like
Wow.
inhale it. And I was like, "Are you serious?" And he said, "Yeah, like this one guy did it, and now we all do it." I'm like, try smelling salts or
That's
something. But
crazy.
like, what
Yeah.
is maybe some of the more interesting things you've seen like in the bullpen? Because obviously those conversations are
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're
fun.
crazy. Yeah, I know because like being a starter, I don't spend as much time
That's
down there,
true.
but we every time we get done warming up, whoever it is before the game, whatnot, we all have a high five line, tell them good luck, whatever, and just kind of pick each other up, which is something I love. And uh, there's definitely guys are crazy. I remember seeing a guy last week. Actually, we were warming up. He's coming in the game. He's trying to speed him up. Got to get going. Got to get
Mhm.
going. And some guys are big into having their C4, their pre-workout,
Mhm.
and he's called in the game. He flips open his ball and just chugs it, throws it, runs in the game. Like he got it in there. So it's so funny to see some of those guys just try to get amped up as fast as possible.
What about you? Are you like a or not protein, but like a pre-workout guy, smelling sauce? Like what
No,
what what do you
no, no.
do?
I'm not big on that. I just have a really. I'd say I'm big on my routine. I'm set on what I need to do. So I just stick to that. But no, I've never been. I don't like the feeling of pre-workout and getting too amped up. So not for me.
Yeah, no, for sure. So in the minor leagues, obviously there's the long bus rides. What do you do in the bus to kind of keep yourself entertained?
Yeah. Obviously, being on your phone, you can only you can take so much
Yeah.
of that scrolling through social media and
Yeah.
stuff. But I like reading. There's some books that team has showed to us that'll help us on kind of the mental side of baseball and other things
Okay.
like that, or just listening to music can go a long way.
What kind of
And
music
at
do you listen
time,
to?
I'm not too picky, whether it be country music, rap, anything chill. So like nothing too specific. So try to keep it mixed up and find stuff I like. So yeah.
What about like pregame? Like, what is your pregame routine? You mentioned
hmm
you don't do the pre-workouts or any of that kind of stuff. Like, what do you do then? Just kind of
Yeah.
get yourself ready for the game.
Yeah, I'd say that it just starts even before my outing, whether it be like kind of the scouting report on the team, taking that out there with me and taking my own notes on the guys and see what they do, what pitches they're looking for and stuff like that. But like day of game, I would say honestly just try to stay as relaxed as possible, show up to the field a couple hours before the start and just get stretched out, get going there. And I practice my routine, pregame routine, and on the side of like baseball prep. So I just stick to that and gets me ready to go for the game.
Yeah, no, for sure. And one of the last things I want to talk about is like you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned fans. Like, how often, like over or under, like 100 times, do you hear, "Hey, can I get a ball during,
Yeah.
during each?"
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it happens a lot, and obviously I try to get the kids the ball as often as I can, but man, it's all the time and it's constant. every time in between innings, kids fly down the rails and they're peeking their heads in the dugout. Can I get that ball? Can I get that ball? And it kind of gets annoying at times. But man, when you give a kid a ball and their face lights up and they're so thankful, it's like it makes it worth it. So obviously, we try to teach kids at times when they're like kind of demanding for one. Just obviously, throw in there, can we get a please? Anything, like try to like show them what we're looking for. But it does make their day, and it's cool to see. It's obviously it's like I think I'm a low minor leaguer here, and they still look up to us. And are grateful we give them a time of day. So I try to do that as often as I can.
No, for sure. Yeah. And that's incredible. And then you get these guys who come here, like these older guys with like their books and binders of just like cards. Yeah. And they're waiting for you at every game, hey, can you get an autograph? And they got like 15.
Crazy. Yeah. They have 15-year cards and like, I'll sign a few, but it's incredible, man. Like we had an earlier game in Reading last week before the break, and we got there probably 11 or 12, and the guys were there waiting for us, man, on like a weekday. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, how are you able just to be here waiting for us? And it's funny, man. People take it serious.
Yeah. Who's maybe one guy in your team who just gets bombarded with like?
It's a Relvis Martinez, and he will not sign. So
no?
I feel bad for those guys. So sign for the little kids, and that's great, but these older guys he was leaving actually, trying to get on the bus, and the guy almost followed him on the bus.
What?
Reading security had to kind of like separate him and tell him, because he was telling him, no, thank you. Doesn't speak most English, so he's always like, no, thank you. And this guy was just very persistent. It's just like, that's where it's like over the top for him.
Yeah. So he got on the bus, or he was trying to get on the bus? Like,
I think he was like starting to. Yeah, Relvis walked on the bus, and he was still trying to like kind of follow him, and the security guy just kind of had to step in and diffuse the whole situation.
Oh, that's insane. I was talking to somebody a couple weeks ago, and they said that they were in a similar situation, but a guy just jumped onto the bus, so started taking pictures of everybody, and then just jumped right out. And like the security, like, you gotta go. Like that's, and these guys are crazy, and they'll do so many things just to kind of get that autograph.
Oh my gosh!
Guys, like, I mean, when like the top talent or whatever it may be, like they just, it's insane, like the things that people go through. But I want to end on this. Like, what do you do when you're not pitching? Like what kind of you obviously golf? Like, do you game? Like, you're a movies kind of guy? Like, what do you do?
Not I'm big in. I have my PlayStation out here, so I'm always playing, whether it's MLB The Show or Call of Duty with friends, whatever. It's a good way to stay connected to my friends back home, or even the teammates out here when we're away from baseball, still getting to kind of spend time together that way. So yeah, I have golf, video games. Obviously, my wife is a huge priority to me. So just being away from the game is good. And obviously when I'm there, taking it very serious, but having that time to compress and really decompress and do other things is great.
For sure. You mentioned Call of Duty. I haven't played as much. I picked up Fortnite again. Like, I'm kind of embarrassed to say, but I jumped back on that. I've heard
there's like a no build. Fortnite was huge. Like, I played that in college with all my buddies, and we loved it. So
there's no
whatever game. Yeah. I think that'd be very fun. I think we have some guys on the team that are playing it again, saying it's really fun. So obviously, whatever game's kind of hot right now, guys just seem to gravitate towards it, and I'm gonna give that a go. So
you will have to squad us sometime in Fortnite, and we'll have to, we'll have to see how many doves we can catch.
That would be awesome. I haven't played in a minute, but I had so many good times on Fortnite.
Definitely. Well, hey, Paxton, I'm a Paxton guy now. Like, I'm excited to see, your rise, through the minors. I'm buying early on your stock, so like we'll see what happens here.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to see what you do. I'm glad you came on the podcast, man. We'll have to keep in touch. Like I said, we might have to squat up here and there. Whenever, you never know. I might play a little bit.
Hey, I love it.
I'll do you something. Right on. All right, brother.
It.
Yeah, you have a great rest of your night, okay?
You too. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You got it. All right, talk to you later.